स्मृतापि तरुणातपं करुणया हरन्ती नृणाम् अभङ्गुरतनुत्वषां वलयिता शतैर्विद्युतां कलिन्दगिरिनन्दिनी तटसुरद्रुमालम्बिनी मदीयमतिचुम्बिनी भवतु कापि कादम्बिनी. We have to start with, we'll start directly from the Dvitiyam Kavyam, which is Uttama Kavyam. So according to Jagannatha Pandita, Tatra Prathamam tu Uttamottama Kavyam iti Prathama Udaharanam. Tatanantaram, you have this second category of division that Jagannatha Pandita has given, which is Uttama Kavyam. The example he gives here is राघव विरह ज्वाला संतापित सह्य शैल शिखरेषु शिशिरे सुखं शयानाः कपयः कुप्यन्ति पवनतनयाय. राघव विरह ज्वाला संतापित सह्य शैल शिखरेषु. So first we have to look at the uddipana vibhavam, or that which is your surroundings here. The surrounding here is Sahyadri. Sahya Shaila Shikhareshu. In the Sahyadri mountains and the peaks of those mountains, all of these monkeys are staying. So it is let's think of it as a scene from Ramayana. And in Ramayana, Hanuman has gone to Lanka to check out where Sita is, and he is coming back with the news. Until then, until Hanuman has gone and gotten the news, there are a set of kapis, vanaras, who are staying with Rama here. Rama is suffering from viraham. So Raghava viraha jwala tatra vartate. We always equate viraha to ushnatvam or virahatapam, and we equate happiness to coolness. Ananda bashpani to it is very sheetalam, whereas if it is shokoshnehi parthivashrubihi, we read it in Raghuvamsha also, right? So shokena, the tears that come out of grief is always very hot, because there is viraha jwala inside the mind. So here the monkeys, all the vanaras, have been happily sleeping during the winter times also, during the night. Shishire in the winter season. So Shishire, Sukham Shayanaha, they have been sleeping very happily, because the peaks of Sahyadri were all santapita. They were like a heater here because of Raghava viraha jwala. So Ramasya viraha jwalaya santapitani shikarani. Sakhya shailasya shikarani. So because that Sita viyogena tatra Ramasya virahastu tatra atyanta utkatataya tatra vartate iti karanat, that sometimes the body is so heated up that even the person who is near you can actually feel it. The kanachudumbo சில பேருக்குலாம் வந்து உடம்புல ஒரு கணச்சூடு. So some heated body, this thing and all, you will feel it like that outside, right? So tatha atra, there is one kind of an atishayokti where he says the entire peaks of all the Sahyadri mountain is completely heated up because of Rama's viraha here. So shishire sukham shayanaha kapayaha. During winter, all of these vanaras have been happily sleeping. Now what happened? Pavanatanayaya kupyanti. Suddenly now they are feeling angry towards Hanuman. This akasmika kopaha, which is something that needs an explanation here, right? So iha Raghunatha Sugrivayoho Ativallabham Kapinamapi Sarvada Hitakaram Hanumantam Prati Tesham Akasmikaha Vachyabhutaha Kopaha. Keep that in mind here. Now, why do they have to be so angry towards Hanuman, who is a Priya, who is much appreciated by both Rama and Sugriva? He is the best friend of both of them, right? Ativallabha Raghunatha Sugrivayoho Ativallabha Saha Hanuman Kapinam api hitakaraha. He also is very beneficial towards all these vanaras. So suddenly this kupyanti pavanatanayaya does not make sense at all. So we go to the Vyangyartha, and Luckily, Jagannatha Pandita gives us all of the explanation, so we will go with that. Atra Janaki Kushala Avedanena Raghavaha Shishirikritaha iti Vyangyam. Now, the Vyangyam here is suddenly when Hanuman comes back with the news that he has seen Sita, Kanden Sitaye. Yeah. So, when he comes back with that news, immediately that Viraha Tapam is completely gone. It may not have been totally gone, but at least it has come down to a level where it is not heating up the entire area there. So, Raghavaha tu Shishirikritaha Kinchidiva Prayaha Tatra, there is a hope that has come about that he will meet her later. So, the Viraha Tapam is not as much as probably it has been replaced by krodha or towards Ravana, where he has to go and get back Sita, right? So immediately that Virahatapam has come down. Janaki Kushala Avedanena, because Hanuman has returned and he has given the news that Janaki Kushalini Vartate iti Janakyaha Kushala Varta Shravanena Raghavasya Santapaha Kinchitiva Shamanam Jataha Tasmat Shishiri Kritaha. So he has become completely a little bit cooler now. Hence, it has become difficult for the Vanaras to sleep during winter, during the night time, because it has become again cold like an AC. And so they are angry with Hanuman here. Iti Vyangyam Akasmika Kapikartrika Hanumadvishayaka Kopa Upapadakataya Guni Bhutam Api. Now, this is where the difference between Gunibhuta Vyangyam and Uttama Kavyam is going to come about. Now, what is happening to the Vyangya here? The Vyangya is Janakyaha Kushala Vartatu Adhuna Ramachandrasya Shravane Agata iti. So, that has come to his thing. Tasmat Ragavaha Shirshiri Kritaha Ityayam Rupaha Vyangyarthaha. Now, what has happened to this? This explains our Vachyartha, which is the Abhida, that is, there is an unexplained or sudden anger towards Hanuman. Akasmika Kapikartrika Hanumadvishayaka Kapikartrikaha Kopaha. Hanumadvishayakaha Kopaha. So, what is this? The Karta for the Kopam, for the anger, is Kapi. Kapikartrika Kopaha. It is also Hanuman is the Vishayam for the Kopa. So Hanumati Kopaha or Hanumate Kupyanti, because there is a fourth Vibhakti Sutra for that, right? Ruchirthanam or Krudha Druha iti. So that is why you have Pavanattanaya Kupyanti iti tatra Chaturthi Bhavati because of that Sutra. So Hanumad Vishayaka Kopa Upapadakataya. That akasmika kopam or an unexplained anger towards Hanuman is only explained by the Vyangyartha. So that Vyangyartha becomes a little bit guni bhutam. It is not as beautiful as this. They are so angry with Hanuman. That Vachyartha is a little bit more beautiful than that Vyangyartha, but still it is beautiful. So that Chamatkaratvam is not lost, but there seems to be, it is a little bit lesser than the Vachyartha, that's all. It still has so much of beauty that is why Jagannatha Pandita gives this an Uttama Kavya status. Okay, so I'll come to that later. Okay, we will look at what he is saying and then further analyze. Durdaiva Vashat Vashataha Dasyam Anubhavat Rajakalatram Iva Kamapi Kamaniyatam Avahati. So the Vyangyam Kamaniyatam Avahati. Vyangyam Gunibhutamapi Kamapi Kamaniyatam Avahati. Now this is how the connection of this goes. So Vyangyam, the Vyangyarthaha, Gunibhutamapi, even though it is a little bit lesser than the Vachyartha, even though it is apradhanam when compared to the Vachyartha, still kamapi kamaniyatam avahati, it still has some beauty with respect to it. There is a anirvachaniyataya tatra kimapi saundaryam vartate eva vyangyarthe. That is Paṇḍitarāja state as stands, and that is why he says this is an uttama kavyam. The example that he gives here is Durdaiva vasataha dasyam anubhavate rajakalatram iva. Pattamahishi kachana ragni vartate. There is a queen who Durdaiva vasat, because of unfortunate incidents, the keragam seri illa, adanala vandu she graha sancharasthu tatra doshaya vartate iti karanat saatu dasyam anubhavati aduna. Dasyam na, she has been reduced to being a this thing. So, okay, I'll come to that. So, Durdaiva vasataha dasyam anubhavat rajakalatram iva. This is the example that he takes. Rajakalatram, a queen, when she was a queen, she is beautiful, right? But now she has been reduced to being a servant, or who is trying to portray the, let's say she is acting in a play and she is to take on the role of a parijana or a dasi. Then she is reduced to that state a little bit, but she's still beautiful. She retains everything of that Vyangyartha, or everything that is there, which are indicative of her as a queen. She has that walk, she has that look in her, she has the charisma, she speaks like a queen. Everything else is like a queen. Take, for example, Malavika. Okay, in Malavika Agnimitram. Malavika, she is a queen, she is a princess, but she serves as an attendant to Dharini. She comes as a companion to Dharini. She lives with the servants also until she is noticed by she is still beautiful, right? Okay. So Durdaiva vasataha dasyam anubhavat rajakalatram iva. So a rajakalatram, a wife of a king who has come to be like Malavika Agrinitra, Malavika. So Guni Bhutam api. Now Guni Bhutam here is not completely, it has lost its luster. It is not as, like, let's say there was an Antaralika Vyangyam and a Paryantika Vyangyam that we were looking at, which is the Rasa. Right? When compared to that shloka of Nisheshachyuta Chindanam, where we had the Paryantika Vyangyam of Irsha Vipralambha or Vipralamba Shringara, there is no such Rasarupa Paryantika Vyangyam here for us to say that, compared to that, this is Guni Bhutam iti. So this is the Vyangyam that we are looking at. And this is a little bit lesser. Okay. What bhava would you say? Bhava Shanti, you can call Bhava Shanti here. Okay. If you say Bhava Shanti, then the Santapasya Shanti tu tatra vartate. Sampurnataya tatra Bhavasya Shanti iti vaktum api na shakyate. That's what I said. His entire Viraha is also not gone for us to call it as a Bhava Shanti. You can say a Bhava Shabalata, wherein Kinchidiva, it's a little contrived to go into that. Yes, there is Sandhi. There is a Bhava Sandhi, wherein a little bit of the Tapa Shamanam happens for Raghava. There is also that Tapam is still there for him because he has still not met Janaki as such. You can take that as the Paryantika Vyangyam. That is all fine. But still, the image of, Kapayaha Pavanatanaya Kupyanti is a little bit more beautiful according to Jagannatha Pandita. Let's keep it that way. We will take him as the best among the Sahridayas, and if he had said something, then we will go by that ultimately, if this is not convincing enough. So, Atra, I'll just go over this one more time. Atra Janaki Kushala Avedanena Ragavaha Shishirikritaha iti Vyangyam Akasmika Kapikartrika Hanumadvishayaka Kopa Upapadakataya. Upapadakam, it becomes a tool for us or a karanam for us to understand why the Vanaras are suddenly angry towards Hanuman. Upapadaka is Hetu. Hetu Bhutataya. So Vyangyam, having this as Vyangyam becomes an Upapadaka for this is something like a Vachya Siddhyangam. For the Vachyam to be understood, I need the Vyangyam. So the Vyangya tries to give me a reason for this Akasmika Kopa. That is why it is a Gunibhutam. And a Kamapi Kamaniyatam Avahati. Yet it is still very beautiful. Okay. Now there is a Akshepa here. A Purupakshi. Talpagatapi cha sutanuhu ityadi pragukta prathama-kavya udaharane dvitiya-kavya udaharanatam ashankya samadadati. Now the way Jagannatha Pandita has explained this shloka, Raghava Viraha Santapita, this seems to be very much you can use this methodology to explain Talpagata api, which is an Uttama Kavya Udaharanam. You can use this methodology to explain that shloka also, which means the example that Paṇḍitarāja has given for Uttama Kavya will actually become an Uttama Kavya and not an Uttamottama Kavya. So how does he go by that? First we will look at the shloka itself. I will explain this in the form, as usual, my chart is easier for me. I'll explain with that and then we will go into the text as such. Okay. So, Talpagata apicha sutanuhu shvasa asangam naya sehe samprati sa hridayagatam priyapanim mandam akshipati. This is the original Uttamottama Kavya shloka that Jagannatha Pandita has given. Talpagata api sutanuhu. A beautiful lady, Navavadhu sa, Talpagata api, she is sleeping with her Priya. Shvasa asangam ya na sehe. One who could not even, could not even tolerate the Shvasa asangam. That is, she was so shy that she could not even stand near him to tolerate that breath. That is, she was so shy to look at him. Navavadhu sa iti ya purvam shvasa asangam api na sehe. Tolerate, it's not in a negative sense here. She was so shy that she could not even go near him to feel the breath of her husband. So, tatha ya asit purvam satu adhuna talpagata api. Now she is sleeping with him, beside him, on the bed. Talpagata. Samprati sa hridayangatam priyapanim. Her Priya's hand is on her heart here. So, hridayangatam priyapanim mandam akshipati. She slowly removes the hand. This is what is there, and so we know that she is a Navavadhu. She will not even go near him first of all, and then to remove the hand of her husband, she would do it immediately because she is full of shyness and everything. Her lajja vijita manmatha, right? So her lajja is actually vijita manmatha. It's much more than the manmatha feelings that she has in her mind, the Shringara feelings that she has in her mind. So she would not slowly remove the hand of her husband, but she would immediately get out of the bed. Okay. But this also shows that she has a Pati Vishayaka Prema, which makes her remove that. Now, what is he trying to say here is, the Vachyartha here is Mandam Akshipati. She removes the hand very clearly, just like how we have Kupyanti Pavanatanayaya. Now, this cannot be explained. Why cannot it be explained? What is the Virodhaha there? Vachya Anupapanna. This Vachyartha does not even make sense unless there is a Vyangyartha. Why doesn't it first make sense for us? Because Navavadhu Prakriti Virodhaha. Just as how we had in our Raghava Viraha Santapa shloka, Hanumad Vishayakaha Akasmikaha Kopaha tu tatra na sangachate eva. यथा नववध्वाः प्रकृतिस्तु तत्र मंद आक्षेपेण सह न संगच्छते तथा अत्रापि it is not possible for the vanaras to feel anger towards Pavanathanaya, so that section is completely inexplicable. The same way in Uttamottama Kavyam also, mandam akshipati, she slowly removes the hand. One who could not even stand near him, now she is on the bed and she is slowly removing it. How can this gel with the swabhava of a navavadhu? It is virodha. Correct? Now you explain it with a vyangyartha saying, pati vishayakam prema vartate, tasmat atra navavadhu prakriti virodhaha yadyapi vartate, tathapi evam karoti. So this vyangyartha now explains our vachyartha. Just as how Ragavasya viraha shamanam abhut tasmat Pavanathanayaya kupyanti. Okay. Now it's the mapping of this seems very clear now, right? But how Paṇḍitarāja explains it later, we will come to that. 1 minute. I'll show. Now we'll go to the text. As long as you understand the Purva Paksha with this, now we will go to the text. Okay. Nanu praguktam akshepagatam mandyam api navavadhu prakriti virodhat anupapadyamanam व्यंग्येनैव उपपद्यते इति कथम उत्तमोत्तमता तस्य इति चेत. Now this section is your पूर्वपक्ष. इति चेत पर्यंतम न is your सिद्धांति. Okay. This is too small for me. So this is the पूर्वपक्ष here. Okay. So nanu, when you start with nanu evam, in the same manner, if you are going to explain Raghava Viraha in this manner, then using that same methodology, same tactic, we can explain Uttamottama Kavyam also in this manner. Praguktam talpagata api sutanuhu iti shloke, Uttamottama udaharane shloke, yaduktam akshepagatam mandyam, akshepa karmani yat mandyam vartate, mandam akshipati. அப்படிங்கிற இடத்துல mandam is a kriya visheshanam, which is a visheshana, which is a guna that is present in the kriya of akshepa, removal, apasaranam. So apasarana rupa kriyayam yat mandyam vartate, mandyam api navavadhu prakriti virodhat, that is also not possible to be explained because she is a navavadhu. She is someone who will not slowly remove, she will only jhatityeva apasarayati, right? Anupapadyamanam, this is not possible, it cannot be explained. That portion which cannot be explained, that is the slowness with respect to the akshepa which cannot be explained, is now upapadyate through vyangya. Vyangyenaiva upapadyate. What is that vyangyam? Take it as pati prema. Pati vishayakam prema tu vartate, tadrisha rupena vyangyenaiva tatra mandam akshipati iti vayam asmabhihi vaktum shakyate. Correct? Iti katham Uttamottamata tasya. So how can you call that shloka as an Uttamottama Kavya example? Iti chet na. Now he says yatohi. Our clue here is always, if my vachyartha can be explained with other things and the vyangyartha stands separate from the vachyartha, then my problem is solved. This is the clue for us to differentiate. If our, that is why I said vachya siddhyangam iva bhasate tatra raghava viraha jwala santapita ityatra. So if my vachyartha can be explained without the vyangyartha also, without pativishayakam prema tasyaha manasi vartate tasmat evam karoti iti tadrisham vina anyam anya upapatya yadi, if I can explain the vachyartha, then I am still in the Uttamottama Kavya category. So what does he say? Yatohi anudina sakhi upadeshadibihi Anati chamatkaribihi api upapadyamanam mandyam. Now she could have slowly removed it. Pati vishayakam prema tu tatra vartate va nava iti eva charcha nasti. Let us not think about whether that is there or not. Probably all her friends have told her daily இந்த உட்கார்ந்துட்டு பாடம் கற்பிக்கிறதுங்கிறது இருக்கே அதுதான் தினம் சொல்லியிருக்கா. They have sat with her in the evening and told her, listen, this is not how you have to behave. You are a wife now. He is your beloved. He is also a nice. Evam upadeshadikam tu kritam sakhibihi. So sakhi upadeshadibihi. Now that sakhi upadeshaha kritaha iti vyangyarthastu, not vyangyartha, let's say that is an upapatti, that is a hetu, but it is not so chamatkaram. Sakhis have sat with her and given her advice that, see, if he does this, you should not do this, you should do this, ityadikam tu tatra upadeshastu kritaha. तादृश उपदेशास्तु चमत्कारित्वं नास्ति उपदेशेषु. So anati chamatkaribihi, that doesn't have that beauty as much as viraham or pati vishayakam prema tadrig vartate, because of which she feels that she is going to be separated from him, and that vipralamba shringara becomes an even greater force in that shloka. So upapadyamanam, we can solve this by saying
how is it vipralamba there? They are together, no? There's no separation. How do you say
separation illa anga vandu she அந்த இடத்துல வந்து விரகம் தானே is given இல்லையா? ஒரு நிமிஷம், I thought அதுல வந்து அல்டிமேட்டா அதுதான் வருதுன்னு நினைச்சேன். இந்த இடத்துல கல்பகதா அப்படி so achira pravatsyat pati, one who is going to go இது வெளியூருக்கு போக போற பத்தி, அதுதான் that is the இது context. Okay, yeah. Na yatohi anudina sakhyupadeshadibihi anati chamatkaribihi api upapadyamanam mandyam. So that manda akshepaha can happen even because of the advices that her friends have given her constantly. Pratama chitta chumbinim vipralambaratim aprakashayan na prabhavati swatantriyena paranirvritti charvana gocharam adhatum. Now in this akshepagatam mandyam is na prabhavati paranirvriti charvana gocharatam adhatum na prabhavati. It is not possible for it to bring you that ananda like how vipralamba shringara gives you that ananda. So there is a secondary reason for it. Take Nisheshachuta Chandanam, wherein we gave a lot of other normal reasons which will not come to the mind of a Sahridaya. She probably went to that Vapi only. She was probably having her hand like this. That is why Stanatatam eva tatra Nisheshachuta Chandanam natu sarvataya prakshalitam. All these extra, there is another way to understand the Abhida. Only when it is a Sahridayam Manaha, he only can understand that Paryantika Vyangyarthaha and apply it because of Tasya Adamasya Gataha. All those contexts come into your mind and then you say Tasya Adamasya Antikam Rantungata iti Vyangyaha Tatra Vartate Tadanantaram Vipralamba Shringaropi Vartate. You can go to that extent only if you have the Sahridaya Manaha. So Prathama Chitta Chumbinim Prageva buddhi gochari bhavantim paranirvrittim gochara vishayatam adhatum na sambhavati. So this mandyam, if we are using it, if we understand this mandyam because of the Sakhi Upadesha, then it will not give us the vipralamba rati, aprakashayanna. It will not give us that vipralambarati. Paranirvritti charvana santosha rupa charvanana aswadaha. Aswada gocharatam adhatum cha swatantriyena na prabhavati. This mandavam akshepaha will not be able to give us that beauty or that anandam that we get from vipralamba shringara. Is it clear? स्वातन्त्र्येण स्वरूप मन्दत्वेन मात्रेण तत्र भवितुं नार्हति. जस्ट मन्द आक्षेपः इत्यनेनैव तत्र भवितुं नार्हति, किन्तु विप्रलम्बरतिः अपि वर्तते इति कारणादेव तत्र मन्दम् आक्षिपति इत्यत्रापि आस्वादः भवति. क्या? इत्थं निःशेषच्युतचन्दनम् इत्यादि पद्येषु अधमत्वादीनि वाच्यानि व्यङ्ग्य अतिरिक्तेन अर्थेन आपाततः निष्पन्न शरीराणि व्यञ्जकानि इति न तत्रापि गुणीभावः शङ्कनीयः. We can use the same methodology to say that also, right? अधमस्य अन्तिकमेव गत अधमः यदि why does the नायिका use the word adhama in this पद्यम? अधमत्वादीनि वचनानि वाच्यानि व्यङ्ग्य अतिरिक्तेनापि सम्भवन्त्येव. व्यङ्ग्यस्य आवश्यकता एव नास्ति, व्यङ्ग्येनैव अत्र सम्पद्यते इति वक्तुं न शक्यते. We don't need to say that the vyangya is absolutely necessary for me to justify the vachyartha. Wherever in an uttama kavya, the difference between the uttamottama kavya and the uttama kavya, this is the clue. In the uttamottama kavya, I don't need the particular vyangyartha to justify the vachyartha. In an uttama kavya, I will need the vyangyartha to justify the vachyartha. The vyangyartha, even though I need it to justify the vachyartha, it is still beautiful. That is uttama kavya. In uttamottama kavya, my vyangyartha stands completely separate from the vachyartha. Vachyartha can be justified with so many different other hetus. I don't need this particular vyangyartha to justify this point. Okay, so ittam nisheshachyuta chandanam ityadi padyeshu, even in uttamottama kavya, examples like nisheshachyuta chandanam, adhamattvadini vachyani, the words that are there in the vachaka shabda, that is the vachyarthas of adhama etc., vyangya atiriktena api arthena apatataha nishpanna sharirani vyanjakani iti. These vyangya atiriktenapi, they can be satisfied by some other meaning other than the vyangya, which is tasya antikam gata iti vyangyam vina anyatre api anyena api hetuna tatra sadhayitum shakyate iti apatataha nishpanna sharirani. That is, on a superficial level I can try to explain it by any other aparadha other than Duti Sambhoga. There can be other aparadhas that he has committed before. So even though it is on a superficial level, I can do that. But still, na tatrapi guni bhavaha shankaniyaha, because there is another Vipralamba Shringara which acts as a stronger Vingyartha and a more beautiful Vingya. Clear? Anayoho bhedayoho apannavaniya chamatkarayoho api प्राधान्य अप्राधान्याभ्याम अस्ति कश्चित् सहृदय वेद्यः विशेषः. This is our point here. So both भेदास, that is उत्तमोत्तम भेदे अपि उत्तम भेदे अपि तत्र चमत्कारस्य अपन्नवः कर्तुं न शक्यते. अपन्नवः इत्युक्ते you cannot deny the beauty that is there in both of these. Adnalda, see the point that it's a very beautiful point that Jagannatha Pandita has done. It's a great contribution that way. There are so many Gunibhuta Vyangya Kavyas, which when you just call it as Gunibhutam, it becomes a Madhyama Kavya. And how can we group a whole set of Gunibhuta Vyangyas into just one category there? He wants to distinguish even within that category, he separates it into Uttama Kavya and Gunibhuta, Madhyama Kavya. That is his contribution here. So, anapannavaniya, apannavamna, you can deny the chamatkara. Anapannavaniya chamatkara, a chamatkara, beauty that cannot be denied at all. But you have to decide based on pradhanya, apradhanya. So, pradhanya, apradhanyabhyam kaschit sahridaya vedyaha visheshaha eva vartate. There is a something based on whether the Vyangya is Pradhanam or Apradhanam. It is the capacity of a Sahridaya to decide that. Is that clear? Now, yattu chitramimamsa krita uktam praharavirато madhyeva annas tatopi parenava kimuta sakale yateva anhi priya tvam iha eshyasi iti dinashata prapyam desham priyasya iyasatoho harati gamanam balalapaihi sabashpagalat jalaihi. Now, this is a shloka that Chitramimamsakara, our Ape Dikshita, favorite opponent of Jagannatha Pandita. So he is classified this shloka as a Gunibhuta Vyangyam. Now our Paṇḍitarāja has a problem with that classification now. Okay, let's look at the shloka at least today, and then we will go into the Khandanam, etc., etc. So Prahara Virato Madhye va Anhastat. The main sentence here is Dinashatam iti dinashata prapyam desham bala alapaihi sabashpa galajjalaihi alapaihi dinashata prapyam desham priyasya gamanam harati. So a priya, a nayaka is there. He has just married a girl, and so Bala sa she is trying to stop him from going. He is saying, okay, listen, I have to go on a tour. And this tour is going to last for 100 days. Dinashata prapyam desham. A place where, which has to be reached in 100 days. Or dina shatena natu panchashaihi dinaihi pakshena masena va prapyam gantum yogam tatha durataram janapadam gamyam. The place that he has to even go is 100 days beyond of travel. So he has to travel for 100 days first of all. So in those days and all, they will go for 1 year or 2 years and all pravasaha. So he has to go travel for 100 days, and then he has to live there for about a year or two, make a lot of money, and then travel again for 100 days and come back home. So this is the time period that they are looking at. So Dina Shata Prapyam Desham. Iyasatoho, a person gantum ichatoho. So iyasatoho, yatum icha. Iyasa, one who wants to go to a place which is 100 days further away. So dinashata prapyam desham iyasatoho priyasya gamanam harati. Harati, she wants to stop. Nivarayati, Bala Nivarayati, wants to stop him. She is trying to stop him from going to this tour, which first she has to reach there. Maybe it lasts for, let's say, 2 years. Okay. How does she stop him? Alapaihi sa bashpa galat jalaihi. Atra bashpa iti ashru, na kevalam ashru. So you take it as ushnam. So with the water that is flowing, galat, abri கண்லேந்து தாரதாரையா கொட்டுறதுங்கிறோம் இல்லையோ அந்த மாதிரி கலத்து ஜலைஹி சபாஷ்ப. It is ashru which is very hot here, because if you take this bashpa as ashru jalam, then there is a punarukti dosha, kathita padam iti. So to avoid that, you take the meaning for bashpa as ushnam. So saushnam, soshna galat jalaihi, water which is just flowing, which is very hot also, because she is feeling that viraha already. So sa bashpa galat jalaihi, with tears flowing from her eyes, alapaihi, she is also talking in this following manner. She is trying to stop her husband from going to a place which is 100 days away. What is she saying? Kidrishaihi alapaihi ityukte prahara virato yate priya tvam iha yeshyasi. Hey priya, tvam iha yeshyasi, will you come back as soon as prahara viratau. Prahara ityukte, so one day is divided into 8 praharas. Prahara, muhurta are 2 types of divisions. Muhurta is 48 minutes. Prahara is 3 hours. So prahara viratau yate. So prahara viratau tvam iha yeshyasi, will you come back after 3 hours? Madhye, oh, will you come back? Annaha madhyeva yeshyasi, or will you come back in the afternoon? Parena, paranne agachasi va? Will you come back in the evening time, after Madhyannam? Will you come back? Or sakale anhi yateva? When the entire day is over, at least will you come in the evening? So she is asking, this is very similar to one shloka in Sahitya Darpanam, where Rama and Sita have started on their vanavasa. They're just getting out of the city. Dvichachurani Padani Sthapya, Sita asks, it seems, after placing 3 or 4 steps, she asks, have we come? Have we reached? This is like a long car journey you take with your children. They will say, are we there yet? It's a very common thing that kids ask here. Have we come? Have we come? So in the same way here, the child is asking the girl who has just married her husband and he is going, saying, will you come back in 3 hours or in the afternoon or in the evening, or maybe one whole day is gone and you will be here? Iti evam vidaihi alapaihi, with her eyes filled with tears, she is asking him or trying to stop him from going. Okay. Now this is the shloka. In the next class, we will see how Apaya Dikshita calls this as a Gunibhuta Vyangyam, and why this cannot be a Gunibhuta Vyangyam but an Uttama Kavyam according to Jagannatha Pandita. Okay. Clear?